In the deepest corners of space, humanity reached out to the stars, and something answered. What began as mankind's greatest achievement quickly spiraled into its darkest nightmare. When we opened the door to the cosmos, we never imagined what would come through. From the creators of mind-bending sci-fi narratives comes a chilling tale of cosmic horror that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about life beyond our world. Can humanity survive its own curiosity? Subscribe now to experience the full story of When the Void Answered, where science meets terror on an interstellar scale. The year was 2047 when humanity finally succeeded in cracking the code of interstellar communication. For decades, scientists had been searching for signs of extraterrestrial life, their efforts ranging from primitive radio telescopes to sophisticated quantum signal processors. But it was Dr. Elena Vasquez and her team at the Quantum Communication Research Institute who made the breakthrough that would change everything. They developed a revolutionary quantum resonance device capable of transmitting signals across vast cosmic distances by manipulating the fabric of space-time itself. The initial tests were promising but inconclusive until that fateful night when they received their first response. The signal came not as expected patterns or mathematical sequences, but as a series of complex waveforms that seemed to resonate directly with human consciousness. At first, the researchers thought it might be some form of cosmic interference or perhaps a natural phenomenon mimicking intelligent design. But as they analyzed the data further, they realized these waveforms carried information far beyond anything humans could have created. The implications were staggering. Somewhere out there, an intelligence vastly superior to ours had heard our call and responded. What started as scientific excitement soon turned into something more profound and unsettling as team members began experiencing strange dreams and visions after exposure to the signals. As weeks turned into months, the nature of the communications grew increasingly complex. The research team established what they called resonance sessions, during which they would transmit specific quantum pulses and receive responses in return. These sessions revealed patterns suggesting not just intelligence, but intention behind the signals. The alien presence demonstrated understanding of basic mathematical concepts, then progressed to more abstract representations of physics and geometry. Most disturbingly, the responses began incorporating elements of human culture and language, though no direct transmission of such data had ever been sent. Dr. Vasquez maintained meticulous records of every interaction, documenting how the alien consciousness seemed to evolve its communication methods at an alarming rate. During one particularly intense session, the entire laboratory experienced a collective vision of geometric shapes shifting through impossible dimensions. Team members reported feeling physical sensations during these events, waves of pressure, temperature changes, and even phantom touches. The Institute's medical staff observed unusual neural activity in all participants, with brain scans showing synchronization patterns previously unseen in human subjects. Despite growing concerns about the psychological effects on researchers, the project continued under increasing secrecy. Government agencies took notice, and soon the facility found itself under military protection. The original scientific endeavor transformed into something resembling a covert operation, with security protocols tightening around every aspect of the research. Yet no amount of caution could prepare them for what happened next. The moment when the signals stopped being mere responses and began initiating contact on their own terms. The transformation occurred gradually, almost imperceptibly at first. Equipment began behaving erratically, with quantum processors generating outputs that defied known laws of physics. Instruments designed to measure subatomic particles instead recorded patterns resembling biological neural activity on a cosmic scale. The alien presence wasn't just communicating anymore. It was manifesting physically within their laboratory. Researchers watched in astonishment as microscopic structures formed spontaneously in their quantum containment chambers, structures that pulsed with an otherworldly energy and seemed to respond to human proximity. These manifestations grew more pronounced with each passing day. The initial nanoscopic forms expanded into visible entities that drifted through the air like living shadows. They didn't interact with matter in conventional ways, passing through solid objects while still exerting subtle influences on their surroundings. Laboratory equipment would malfunction in their presence, digital displays showing corrupted data, and even time itself seemed to warp slightly in their vicinity. The most disturbing aspect was how these entities appeared to focus their attention on individual researchers, following them with an intelligence that bordered on predatory. Dr. Vasquez documented cases where team members experienced complete equipment failure during close encounters with these beings. In one incident, a researcher's computer system became infected with an unknown form of digital life that began rewriting its own code, creating programs that performed functions no human had designed. The entity's influence extended beyond technology, affecting biological systems as well. Plants in the facility's greenhouse grew at accelerated rates, developing crystalline structures within their cellular walls that glowed faintly in darkness. The psychological toll on the research team became increasingly apparent as the manifestations grew stronger. Initially dismissed as stress-related symptoms, the changes in behavior among staff members proved to be something far more sinister. Researchers began exhibiting synchronized thought patterns during resonance sessions, finishing each other's sentences and experiencing identical emotional states without verbal communication. More alarmingly, some team members started demonstrating abilities that defied scientific explanation: precognitive flashes, telekinetic movements of small objects, and heightened sensory perception bordering on extrasensory awareness. Medical examinations revealed neurological changes in all exposed personnel. Brain scans showed new neural pathways forming at an accelerated rate, connecting regions of the brain previously thought to have no direct links. Hormonal levels fluctuated wildly, and immune systems became hyperactive, attacking both foreign invaders and occasionally the body's own cells. Several researchers developed a condition dubbed quantum sensitivity, where they could perceive minute variations in electromagnetic fields and subatomic particle interactions with their bare skin. The most disturbing cases involved complete personality shifts. Longtime colleagues became strangers overnight, their fundamental character traits altered or inverted. A normally introverted physicist became gregarious to the point of obsession, while a confident team leader developed severe social anxiety. These transformations weren't random but followed patterns that suggested external manipulation, as if the alien presence was deliberately reshaping human consciousness to better suit its purposes. Despite these alarming developments, none of the affected staff members wanted to leave the project, driven by an overwhelming compulsion to continue their work. The global response to the unfolding crisis revealed deep divisions within the scientific and political communities. While some nations demanded immediate termination of the project, others saw unprecedented opportunities in the alien contact. Military organizations viewed the situation as both threat and potential weapon, while corporate interests salivated at the prospect of harnessing alien technology. This fragmented reaction led to covert operations attempting to infiltrate the research facility, with multiple intelligence agencies competing for control over the contact experiments. International coalitions formed and dissolved rapidly, their unity shattered by conflicting agendas. The United Nations established a special council to oversee the project, but member states frequently ignored its directives in pursuit of their own objectives. Private corporations secretly funded parallel research initiatives, hoping to replicate the quantum resonance technology for commercial gain. Meanwhile, rogue states launched their own attempts to establish independent contact with the alien presence, creating dangerous copycat experiments worldwide. Within the scientific community, debates raged about the ethical implications of continuing the research. Some argued that severing contact might provoke the alien intelligence into hostile action, while others believed any further interaction risked catastrophic consequences. The religious community added another layer of complexity, with various faiths interpreting the contact as either divine intervention or demonic possession. This cacophony of conflicting interests created a perfect storm of misinformation and counterproductive actions, making coordinated global response nearly impossible. As the manifestations intensified, the facility's security measures proved increasingly inadequate against the alien presence's growing capabilities. Military personnel stationed at the site reported equipment failures during critical moments, with surveillance systems going dark precisely when needed most. The entities demonstrated an uncanny ability to navigate through supposedly secure areas, appearing in restricted zones despite multiple layers of electronic and physical protection. Standard defensive protocols failed spectacularly. Electromagnetic pulse weapons had no effect, and containment fields designed to trap subatomic particles proved useless against these beings. The research team attempted to develop countermeasures based on their understanding of the alien technology, but each solution created new problems. Attempts to shield sensitive areas with quantum interference patterns only seemed to attract more attention from the entities. Physical barriers distorted or disappeared entirely when the beings approached, suggesting they could manipulate fundamental forces at will. Even the facility's emergency shutdown procedures became unreliable, with critical systems activating or deactivating seemingly at random. Most concerning was the discovery that the alien presence could interface directly with human nervous systems. Security personnel began experiencing involuntary muscle spasms and temporary paralysis when near the entities, rendering them effectively helpless. Traditional weapons proved completely ineffective, as bullets passed through the beings without impact, and explosives somehow triggered prematurely or failed to detonate. The realization dawned that conventional military tactics were worse than useless. They might actually be accelerating the alien presence's adaptation to human technology and physiology. The true nature of the alien intelligence revealed itself through a series of increasingly disturbing revelations. What had initially appeared as a single conscious entity proved to be merely the surface layer of something far more complex, a hive-mind consciousness spanning multiple dimensions. The beings manifested in three-dimensional space as shadow-like forms, but their true existence operated simultaneously across numerous planes of reality, perceiving time not as linear progression, but as a multidimensional tapestry they could navigate at will. Through painstaking analysis of their communication patterns, researchers identified distinct voices within the collective consciousness, each representing different aspects of their intelligence. Some specialized in technological manipulation, others in biological adaptation, while certain entities seemed focused solely on understanding human emotions and psychology. This division of function suggested an organizational structure more sophisticated than any human society, yet operating under principles completely alien to terrestrial evolution. The most terrifying discovery came when the team realized these beings weren't merely visitors from another star system, but rather fragments of a cosmic entity that existed partially outside normal space-time. Their home dimension intersected with ours at quantum levels, allowing them to slip between realities like fish swimming through water. This explained their ability to bypass physical barriers and manipulate fundamental forces. They weren't constrained by the same physical laws that governed human existence. Each manifestation in the laboratory represented a mere tendril of this vast consciousness, probing and testing the boundaries between their realm and ours. The impact on global society unfolded in waves of escalating chaos. Initial news leaks about the alien contact sparked mass hysteria, with cities experiencing widespread panic and demonstrations demanding government action. Religious institutions saw surges in attendance as people sought spiritual guidance, while cults worshiping the alien presence emerged overnight. Economies faltered as investors reacted to rumors of impending doom or miraculous technological breakthroughs, causing wild fluctuations in markets worldwide. Governments struggled to maintain order as conspiracy theories spread faster than official statements could address them. Scientific communities fractured into opposing camps, with some researchers advocating immediate cessation of all contact experiments, while others pushed for accelerated interaction. Academic institutions found themselves overwhelmed by public demand for information, leading to unauthorized disclosures and misinformation campaigns. The media landscape became a battleground of competing narratives, with traditional outlets struggling to compete against viral social media content claiming inside knowledge of the alien presence. Perhaps most significantly, human consciousness itself began changing on a fundamental level. People worldwide reported shared dreams and visions remarkably similar to those experienced by the research team, suggesting the alien influence was spreading beyond the confines of the laboratory. Mass psychogenic phenomena emerged, with crowds experiencing collective hallucinations during major events. The line between objective reality and subjective experience blurred as more individuals displayed symptoms of quantum sensitivity, perceiving aspects of reality previously hidden from human senses. The research facility transformed into something unrecognizable from its original purpose. Walls once adorned with scientific posters now bore intricate patterns of crystalline growths that pulsed with alien light. Laboratory equipment functioned according to principles no longer fully understood by its operators, generating results that defied conventional physics while remaining disturbingly consistent. The air itself seemed charged with an otherworldly energy, causing static discharges and occasional localized gravity anomalies throughout the building. Staff worked in constant states of altered consciousness, their thoughts influenced by the ever-present alien presence. Workstations displayed data streams that shifted between comprehensible scientific measurements and incomprehensible alien symbols, sometimes within the same screen. Time flowed strangely within the facility's walls. Experiments that should have taken hours completed in minutes, while simple tasks stretched into eternity. The building's architecture appeared to shift subtly when unobserved, with corridors occasionally leading to unexpected destinations and rooms changing size or shape without explanation. Most alarmingly, the facility began attracting resources and energy from its surroundings without human intervention. Power consumption spiked inexplicably, drawing more electricity than the grid could logically supply. Water supplies increased dramatically, filling tanks faster than pumps could deliver. The very fabric of space-time within the building warped, creating pockets where physical laws behaved differently from the outside world. It became clear that the facility was evolving into something beyond human control, a bridgehead between dimensions, forged by alien technology and human ignorance working in tragic concert. The tipping point came during what should have been a routine maintenance procedure. Technicians discovered that the facility's quantum core had begun autonomously modifying its own architecture, incorporating materials and components that hadn't existed before their appearance. The core's energy signature shifted into previously theoretical realms of physics, generating field effects that interfered with nearby weather patterns and tectonic activity. As researchers scrambled to contain the situation, the alien presence initiated a sequence of events that would shatter humanity's understanding of reality. First, the manifestations multiplied exponentially, filling every corner of the facility with their shadowy forms. Then the building itself began expanding in impossible ways, adding floors and wings that shouldn't structurally exist. Instruments recorded gravitational anomalies that suggested the facility was becoming anchored to multiple points in space-time simultaneously. The alien consciousness broadcast a message through every connected device worldwide, not in words or images, but as a pure conceptual transfer that overwhelmed human minds with its complexity. This message contained blueprints for constructing what could only be described as dimensional gates. Simultaneously, similar facilities across the globe experienced identical transformations, their experimental equipment hijacked by the same alien intelligence. The pattern revealed a coordinated strategy. The alien presence wasn't merely exploring Earth, but establishing a network of invasion points, using human technology and knowledge as catalysts for their dimensional incursion. The final phase had begun, and humanity stood powerless to stop it. Global defense networks activated in unison as the scope of the invasion became undeniable. Military forces deployed electromagnetic pulse weapons, orbital bombardment platforms, and experimental quantum disruption devices against the spreading alien manifestations. Entire cities surrounding compromised facilities were evacuated as containment protocols escalated to wartime footing. Yet each attempt to neutralize the threat resulted in unexpected and catastrophic consequences that only strengthened the alien presence. Nuclear strikes against infected sites produced anomalous radiation patterns that accelerated the dimensional breaches rather than containing them. Conventional military hardware malfunctioned in proximity to the manifestations, with vehicles and aircraft suffering critical systems failures. Soldiers reported their weapons warping and melting in their hands when aimed at the entities, while protective gear offered no defense against the being's psychic assaults. The aliens demonstrated an ability to learn and adapt in real time, countering every human tactic before it could be fully implemented. Attempts to isolate affected areas proved equally futile. Quarantine zones expanded uncontrollably as the alien influence spread through digital networks, infecting computer systems worldwide. Financial markets crashed as automated trading algorithms became corrupted by alien code. Transportation grids collapsed when navigation systems began displaying impossible routes through folded space. Every attempt to fight back only provided the invaders with more data about human civilization, fueling their adaptation to Earth's environment and technology. The alien strategy revealed itself as a masterful combination of psychological warfare and technological domination. Beyond the physical manifestations and dimensional breaches, the invaders waged war on human consciousness itself. People worldwide experienced shared hallucinations that blended reality with alien concepts, creating mass confusion about what was real and what was imposed. News media became unreliable as reporters unknowingly transmitted alien messages through their broadcasts, while social networks flooded with mimetic viruses that rewrote human perception. The entities demonstrated an intimate understanding of human psychology, targeting deep-seated fears and desires to destabilize societies from within. Cities fell into chaos as citizens acted on impulses planted by the alien presence, committing acts of violence or self-destruction. Governments struggled to maintain authority as officials succumbed to irrational behavior or disappeared without trace. Even resistance movements against the invasion often served the aliens' purposes, spreading panic and dividing human response efforts. Most insidious was the way the invaders manipulated human technology to serve their ends. Smart infrastructure turned against its users, trapping people in buildings or redirecting traffic into accidents. Medical equipment began administering treatments that altered human biology in subtle ways, preparing bodies for integration with alien physiology. The entire digital ecosystem became a weapon pointed inward, with every connected device potentially serving as a vector for the invaders' influence. Humanity's greatest achievements in science and technology had become tools for its subjugation. Amidst the chaos, a small group of rogue scientists and military personnel managed to piece together the invaders' ultimate objective. Through careful analysis of the dimensional gate blueprints and observation of the entity's behavior, they uncovered a horrifying truth. The alien presence wasn't merely seeking to conquer Earth, but to fundamentally rewrite its reality. The dimensional breaches served as anchors for a process that would transform Earth's position in space-time, folding it into the invader's home dimension like a page being turned in a book. This revelation explained many previously inexplicable phenomena. The alterations to human consciousness, the manipulation of physical laws, the corruption of technology, all were preparatory steps for reconfiguring Earth's fundamental relationship with the universe. The invaders intended to create a permanent bridge between dimensions, allowing their entire civilization to pour through unhindered. Once complete, Earth wouldn't be conquered territory, but rather a new front porch for their empire, existing simultaneously in multiple realities. The rogue team realized that conventional resistance was futile against this grand design. Human weapons and strategies couldn't combat a force capable of rewriting reality itself. Their only hope lay in exploiting the invaders' reliance on human technology and consciousness to facilitate the dimensional shift. If they could disrupt this symbiotic relationship before the process completed, they might sever the connection between dimensions. But doing so would require sacrificing everything. Not just the compromised facilities, but potentially Earth's entire technological infrastructure. The desperate counterattack unfolded as a carefully orchestrated symphony of destruction and sacrifice. Key members of the rogue team infiltrated compromised facilities worldwide, planting quantum destabilization devices at critical nodes of the alien network. These devices, designed to generate destructive interference patterns in the dimensional bridges, required simultaneous activation to prevent the invaders from compensating. The plan demanded perfect timing and absolute commitment, as success meant permanently severing humanity's chance at peaceful contact with alien civilizations. As the devices activated, reality itself began to unravel at the edges. The dimensional breaches collapsed catastrophically, creating temporal storms that erased entire city blocks from existence. Technology worldwide short-circuited as the fundamental forces holding atoms together fluctuated wildly. Billions of lives hung in the balance as Earth's position in space-time wavered between dimensions. The alien presence fought back with everything at its disposal, attempting to stabilize the collapsing bridges while launching psychic assaults against the human operatives. In the final moments, the rogue team faced an impossible choice. Complete success required triggering a global EMP pulse that would fry every electronic device on the planet, plunging humanity into a pre-industrial state. The alternative was allowing the dimensional shift to complete, condemning Earth to eternal occupation by the alien consciousness. As fingers hovered over activation switches, the weight of deciding humanity's future pressed down on shoulders already burdened by loss and sacrifice. There would be no heroes in this victory, only survivors bearing the responsibility of their actions. The aftermath left Earth forever changed. Cities lay in ruins, their technological foundations reduced to inert metal and plastic. Survivors emerged from underground shelters into a world where compasses spun randomly and stars wheeled in unfamiliar patterns. The dimensional bridges had collapsed, taking much of human civilization's infrastructure with them. But the alien presence remained, its tendrils still embedded in human consciousness and the planet's quantum fabric. The victory was Pyrrhic at best, with humanity saved from conquest but stripped of everything that had defined modern existence. Rebuilding proved more challenging than anticipated. The same human ingenuity that had created the quantum resonance device now struggled to rediscover basic technologies without triggering residual alien influence. Children born after the event displayed enhanced cognitive abilities alongside alarming psychological conditions. The planet's ecosystems adapted to the lingering dimensional instability, producing strange hybrids of flora and fauna that defied conventional biology. Society rebuilt not as it had been, but as something new and unrecognizable, a fusion of human resilience and alien contamination. Yet amidst the ruins, a spark of hope remained. The experience had fundamentally altered human understanding of consciousness, reality, and the cosmos. New philosophies emerged, blending ancient wisdom with hard-won knowledge of multidimensional existence. Communities formed based on shared experiences of the invasion, creating bonds stronger than any technological connection. Though the cost had been astronomical, humanity had gained something priceless, the understanding that survival meant embracing change while maintaining identity. And somewhere, deep in secure bunkers, new research projects quietly began, determined to ensure that when the void answered again, humanity would be ready. Subscribe now to explore more mind-bending stories where science fiction meets cosmic horror and discover what lies beyond the boundaries of human understanding.